Alright guys, some weekly highlights from Greatstockpix.com. We had a fantastic week. Even an ugly day yesterday, I had a really nice day without even going short, which is actually kind of impressive if you think about it. Skechers, earlier in the week, these are 15-minute candles. I called it just above this candle right here. That's very narrow, kind of had a little hammer. And if I slide the daily over, you can see what day. That was already down big and had pushed down through the 200 day. And I told our members that oftentimes when that happens, if it's already made a big move to do that, you get a reversal, and at the very least, well, I don't want to say at the very least, but you have a potential to at least retest the 200 day that day, okay? And you can't really tell it by looking at the daily. Let me get that out of the way now, but that's exactly what it did. So I called it long over this candle, 26.75 to 26.50 stop, and it went right up to, it doesn't look like much, but from 26.75 it went to 27.48. I guess like a 73-cent move in our favor, but 27.48 if you go to the daily here, that is at the time, that's about where the 200 day was. So it did go up and retest it, and that trade idea worked. Also, earlier in the week, GALT is one of those stocks that had a huge move a couple weeks ago, and I always try to keep those on a chart somewhere in case they give a setup. And so this is what it looked like when I called it. It actually wasn't up to 1261 yet. See this volume spike here? It was hitting 1255. Jumped on the mic and typed it out in chat too. I said this meets our what we call a Tokyo play in our chat room. It meets our parameters. I said the entry would be 1255. The worst case stop would be 1218, which just means this volume spike hasn't broken the high of day yet. If it does, you might get more people piling in. I don't know what the volume spike means, but it was worth a shot at 1255, knowing we would stop it below this very same candle at 1218. And look what happened. It went all the way to 14. Let me get this right here. 14.33, a $1.78 move, which is a big move on a $12 stock, and the risk was 30 cents a share, but it was never underwater after that call. OXBT earlier in the week on January 22nd, so I'm thinking that was Wednesday. Anyway, GALT or OXBT, I'm sorry, is another one of those that can make big moves at times because it's had a recent big move. Okay, so I had it on watch, and when I saw that it looked like this, here's the opening 5-minute high of that day, and then you had this little kind of little flag. So I just called it over the flag. I think I called it at, let me get this right, 644, stop 9 cents below. So the stop was at 635. Get those lines out of the way, and look what happens. All the way to 745, so over $1 on a $6 stock, and plenty of volume. That was a real nice one for us too. Yesterday, in an ugly market, this was the opening 5-minute high right here on CYTR. I already had this on our watch list, okay, so for a break of the early high. So this sells off early, comes back up, and when it started to move back up, I told everybody this is getting ready to meet our bounce play parameters, which just means a high of day break. Whoops, 694 and 680 was my worst case scenario stop. And look at this. This was, remember, this was in a week tape. 694 went to, let me get this right, 764. Again, another huge percentage gainer on not that big of risk, and we were never underwater anyway. And he finally gave back a little bit at the end of the day there, but the market was so weak. Dow was down, I think, over 300 points. And then LNG yesterday. LNG was meeting our shape change parameters. You can see it was grinding lower and then starts to get fast here, right? Then slows down a little bit and then gets shape once again. So you've got shape to the downside. Now, I don't ever play a bounce play just off of intraday shape to the downside. But as I bring over the daily here, this maroon candle, or maroon line here, is the 50-day. And you can see what it back here off the 50-day, back here near the 50-day. You get nice bounces. And so LNG had intraday shape and was hitting the 50-day. I went ahead and called this as a long idea. At 42.53 on the very next candle, which I'll add right here. There it goes, 42.53, and the worst case stop, 21 cents below. And we got it on the way back up, just so you know. We don't buy stuff on the way down. So 42.53, and look at this. It went all the way to, went over 44. It went to 44.08. So $1.55 in our favor, 21 cents risk. And just between CYTR and LNG, had a fantastic day yesterday, even in a weak tape without shorting. So there were some other calls: CNAT, Best Buy, LKQ, Pulte Homes, RNA was a nice one. Had several other calls during the week, but I'm just trying to highlight a few and keep these videos short and free up a little bit more of my weekend time. So we're going with one highlight video a week. If you have any questions about anything I've said or shown you here, you can always shoot me an email. The email address, just contact us, I guess, is the link on our website. So I'm going to quit babbling. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you guys on Monday.